Hello everyone and welcome back to SaiyanSquabbles. I am yours truly, Papa Ping Pong, here to bring you another deck profile. And today I'm bringing you a more meta deck, hopefully meta, than normal. And a deck that I'm having a lot of fun with, very reminiscent of Baby. And as you can tell by the thumbnail, I'll just get right into it. We got the reboot Son Gohan leader. So this leader is very good. Unfortunately, I was already wanting to mess with this leader, and now it seems like everyone's jumping on this leader. But, so let's just get right into it. So it's auto once per turn. Basically, when he attacks, you choose one or two cards in your life, add them to your hand, and then he restands. So he's like Baby, except you have to swing, where Baby just needs to take the life. And he's not mandatory on the swing. But you do have the option of 1 or 2 life, which is super, super helpful and super aggressive. So, Awaken. When your life is at 3 or less, you may draw 2 cards, choose up to 1 of your energy, and switch to active mode and flip this card over. Super strong, super effective. And your goal is you want to get your opponent to about 3 life with this leader. For 3 life is prime. But depending on how aggro your opponent's being, will adjust on how much life you take. If you at least want to aggro him back. So on the Awakened side, we got Father, Son, Kamehameha, Goku, and Gohan return. So beautiful art, by the way. So auto, when this card attacks, draw 1 card. Active battle, during your turn, you can choose 1 card in life, place it in your drop area. This card gets plus 10k power and triple strike for the duration of the turn. So what's really nice is you awaken at 3, so you can do this effect twice if you really wanted to. But we, just so you know, with this deck, are going to be awakening at 2. So we're only going to be able to do that once. Anyways, and then his other active made, once per turn, switches card to active mode. At the end of this turn, you lose the game. So that is very important. But it becomes a triple strike dual attack, basically. A 25k triple strike dual attack. And if you include the front side, he already had 1 additional attack that turn if you do that. So triple attack, 2 of the attacks have triple strike. Just keep in mind you want to be very careful with what matchup you're playing because you do lose the game at the end of the turn. This deck is supposed to win turn 3. It's won turn 3 very consistently. I've played about 9 games with this and I've only lost 1. And that was because my opponent awakened and topoed me. Or no, didn't topo me, he nimbused me. Which is really important for what we're about to get into. So now getting into the deck itself, let's get through the simple stuff. These are new sleeves, so they're going to be a little slippery, so in case they drop. But we got 4 Paragon Super Combo. If your life is at 4 or less, you draw 2 and warp 1. You're going to be getting to 4 or less life turn 2 guaranteed. So we only run 2 Shocking Death Balls. This deck really doesn't need much spot removal, and we're not going to be negating very often. We do have some other negates that we'll get into. But Sparking 5 is mostly why I like this, because you can take a life, which helps you set up for your awakening, because you want to awaken at 2, and that can be a little hard to set up sometimes. But, so we got 2 Chomp of the Trickster. This is if your opponent is very defensive, if they're playing something like Hachiyak, or not even necessarily Hachiyak, but just pretty much any red deck where they could topo or Nimbus. So if a multicolor card uses your energy, becomes a 2 cost, and you play him, and it rests something, ignoring barrier, and you draw 1 card. So, if it's your opponent's turn anyway. So that can stop them especially in the mirror, it can stop them from hurting you. Then for our next negate, we got 4 Roshis. It's just 1 drop negate, and you play this card and negate the attack. It does help a little bit for what we're going to get into, but yeah, I swear I have more of these, I just don't know where they are. So next up, 1 piece of tech. We got 2 Trunks Time Regulator. This is just an extra swing. He's overwhelmed 3. You draw 2 and warp 1. Like I just said, he's mostly just an additional swing. And to dig through your deck, because you want a lot of cards in your hand. You need to see your pieces. Luckily this deck does draw a lot, and you have a lot of cards in hand pretty much at all times. But like I said, that is very helpful. Next up, we got 4 Trunks of Cunning. This is just, we're not charging multicolor in this deck. You never charge multicolor if you have the option. But we run 4 Trunks the Cunning just for if your opponent can't sense you being up in the against blue matchup. Sorry, I don't know why I'm drawing such a blank. But yeah, offensively, your opponent won't be able to restand, and it's just a draw one. We're mostly using it for a draw one. I think it's the best choice for the deck, because we are a glass cannon, and if your opponent's extending plays, that's going to be a big no-no. So next up, we got 4 Krillin calling for help. This is very, very helpful because he's got a permanent, or his auto is draw 1 card, and then his permanent is, if your leader card is a green Son Goku card, and it's flipped to its back, increase the energy cost of this card by 3 in all areas and it gains blocker. We don't care about blocker, it's a nice cherry on top, but the awakened side is a Goku and Gohan. So he becomes a 4 cost, which is super helpful for what we're about to get into. Or not quite yet, but I'm pretty sure you guys already know. But we're wanting 2 of these on board, just so you know, for the play. And then we got 4 Super Saiyan Rose, Goku Black, A Delicate Plan. This, again, is mostly if the game is going a little longer and your opponent's dealing with all your cheap battle cards and stuff. So, he's active battle for 2. Play this card from your hand and KO a 2 or less. An active main for 3 energy. Choose 1 green Zamasu with energy cost 5 or more from your hand and play it. And during your opponent's turn, you restand 1 green energy. So, that's, again, for if the game is mid-game. And we only have 4 targets. We just have these Twisted Justice Fuse Zamasus. When you play this card, your opponent drops 2 cards, or you KO 2 of their battle cards. So, and you choose your opponent's card that they drop. But if you get a 7 drop on board plus a 1 drop from earlier, that can also set up your play for later. Next up, we have, I'm gonna include these together, but we have 3 Ribrian and 1 Krillin in 18. My preference would be 4 Krillins. I have 3, I cannot find the other 2, but they're both a rival for green-yellow, and Ribrian, and they're 4 costs, which is important. Ribrian, when she comes in, she KOs a 4 or less, and then if she is removed from the battle area by a skill, she removes another 4 or less. So, and then Krillin is, when you play him, you either drop an opponent's card or negate a keyword skill on one of your opponent's battle cards. So that's good. The reason why we want to run him is because negating your opponent's card so they have less combo power to defend against your big swings, or getting rid of something like blocker. So, next up, we have our successor target. We have 4 Super Saiyan 2 Son Gohan Wounded Victor. Triple Strike, Successor for 1 green, 1 yellow, 1 colorless. Excuse me. So since this isn't a mechanic, I'm going to go over it more in depth. Successor. For 3 energy, you choose any green or yellow battle cards, green, yellow, or green and yellow battle cards in your battle area that total add up to 6. Place them in your drop area and play him for that cost instead. So that's really good, especially we should be getting Arrivals out, and by the time we awaken, those Krillins should be out, which add up to an 8 cost, which is super crazy and super stupid. Then once per turn, when this card attacks, you can combo with 1 yellow Son Goku in your drop area, which is really important. So he's a single strike, or he's a single attack, triple strike, but for what we're about to get into, he's a powerhouse. So we got 4 Goku targets. The active main doesn't matter. You want to get this guy in the drop area because when you combo this card from your drop area with the Gohan effect, you choose up to 1 green-yellow multicolor Son Gohan childhood card in your battle area, and you restand it. So it becomes a triple strike dual attack basically, and it's swinging for first swing 35k. So we're going to be restanding him with this. So that's going to be an additional triple strike attack. And then the reason we want to awaken it too is to play one of these, a Pan Great Ape Whisperer. So she is a blocker, and if you awaken it 2 or less, you get to play this card from your hand. Only 1 can be in the battle area at the time though. And her active main, choose up to 1 of your battle cards, switch it to active mode, and negate the skill for the duration of the game. Pretty self-explanatory. We're going to be restanding this guy again. So he basically becomes a triple strike, triple attack. It kind of reminds me of the Secret Rare Vegito. So, almost lastly, we run 3 Paragus of Sacrifice. We want to get this guy out turn 2 or turn 3. Because after your opponent makes you make your 3 swings with your Gohan, you're going to use this effect, activating once per turn. Choose 1 green card from your battle area other than this card, place it in the drop area, draw 1 card. So you're dropping it, drawing a card, not that the draw really matters, to play out this boy, the Broly Ultimate Agent of Destruction. So he's double strike, dual attack, and when one of your green battle cards is removed from your battle area by a skill or KO'd, activate the skill, you may choose all other cards from your hand and place them in your drop area, and play this card from your hand. And then his other auto, when this card attacks, if your life is at 1, your opponent chooses all cards from their hand and places them in their drop area. That is stupid good, because you're going to be at 1 life after you use that leader effect. So basically, you're getting, if things go according to plan, you have like 1 or 2 battle card swings, depending on how the early game goes and how you set up your board. You have 3 attacks with this guy. You have 2 25k triple strikes with this guy, plus 1 single attack. Excuse me. Then after you pop him, you play this guy, you got 2 more 40k double strike dual attacks. So they're not surviving that. It's impossible that they're going to survive that if you get the chain off. But yeah, that's going to do it. I know this one is a more expensive deck and a little more competitive, but I wanted to get that out there because this deck is a lot of fun. It's probably my favorite deck from this new set. U7's a close second, but this is probably my favorite. Such a glass cannon, and it reminds me of Baby. But yeah, that's going to do it. I hope you guys enjoyed, and look forward to more stuff, more deck profiles, a lot of new content with Set 9 coming out. And yeah, I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. See ya!